Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. It is my honor, as always, to be with you today. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you who are joining us live, we have just finished the Thanksgiving season, a wonderful time for me and my family. I hope the same for you and yours. It is a time when we consciously gather to just hug each other and talk to each other and love each other and eat together. It is the biggest travel time of the year. More people jump in a car, a plane, a train, figure out ways to go and connect and reconnect with people that they love. And so if that is what is true for you, I hope that you traveled safely and that you are back wherever you call home or wherever you want to be at this moment. This is also a time of year for a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of contemplation about what have I done with myself this past year? Where am I headed as we transition into the new year? And just for most people, this is a contemplative time. So I'm going to assume that it is also that for you. It certainly is for me. We take the time to assess, have we done what we said we were going to do? Did we live up to our commitments? And so I'm asking you, do you believe you have lived up to your commitments? Do you believe that the things that you promised yourself that you were going to do as you started this year, that you have done? Or have you done some of them? Have you done any of them? How would you rate yourself if you had to assess how well you have lived up to the things that you promised yourself you were going to do in your life? It's a big question. And by the way, it is not a question intended to make you feel bad. It's a question intended to get you to reflect and to think about your life and the choices that you've made. The great news is every single day we can make new choices. We can refresh our choices. And today I wanted us to really take on the notion that whatever's going on in our world, we cannot give up. Do not give up. Instead of giving up on whatever it is that you said you wanted to do for yourself, recommit to yourself now. Think about that. Do not give up. So I'm telling you, I've talked to a lot of people who are just like, I said I was going to do this, whatever this is. I didn't get it done. I didn't meet whatever my goal is. I worked so hard for X, or I forgot about the commitment that I made about X or Y. And then here I am. And is it even worth it? Yes, it's worth it. You are worth recommitting to you. And, what I wrote to open this up was setbacks can deflate us. Fear of the future can paralyze us. Think about that. So let's go back. Setbacks, whatever hurdle gets in our way, whatever terrible, difficult, challenging thing, maybe it's not even terrible, but just challenging, a swerve in the road, something that happened that you didn't expect. That doesn't mean that it has to derail you. A setback is just that. Okay, then you have to reset. Something happened, and now what do you do? Fear of the future can paralyze us. Isn't it true? You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. What's going to happen tomorrow? And I'm worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. And because of that, pull the covers up over my head and go, oh, I'm not going to face tomorrow. Tomorrow still comes. So hiding from tomorrow doesn't make it a better day. Hiding from whatever is before you doesn't take away what is before you. These things still happen, and it's up to us to figure out how to deal with them. So I'm saying don't let that fear paralyze you. So I'm just going to read you what I wrote because I want to share that, and then we'll go to other things. But I wrote, setbacks can deflate us. Fear of the future can paralyze us. Don't let it happen to you. Instead of getting stuck due to any thought, circumstance, or person that stands in your way, pick yourself up and recommit to what you want for your life. Do it now. See, when you think about that, that means that you have to accept responsibility for yourself. You cannot point your finger at somebody else and say, you should have done that for me. It's your fault that X or Y didn't happen. You can't blame somebody else for your circumstances, what is happening in your life, and how you deal with it. Now, people can certainly contribute to whatever is going on in your life, like I said here. Instead of getting stuck due to any thought, circumstance, or person that stands in your way, pick yourself up and recommit to what you want for your life. Do not be a victim. Do not allow yourself to be paralyzed. Do not allow yourself to be stuck. You do not have to be stuck. As difficult as whatever you may be going through right now is, no matter what it is, you do not have to be stuck. I spent one lovely afternoon last month with my mother and her friends for her 95th birthday. And one of our friends, Uncle Herb, is 100 years old. You best believe he's gone through a lot of stuff. All of these folks have. And they had smiles on their faces. And they made the choice to be in the present moment and to enjoy and savor what they had. It was such a beautiful thing to witness, choosing joy, despite whatever their issues were. And Uncle Herb, just as an example, I mean, he looks so much younger. You would never know he's 100 years old. He has very poor hearing. He was telling me, Harriet, I can't really hear you, but I know what's going on. And then he proceeded to talk to me about different things and ask questions and just be fully engaged. I have known this man since I was born. And to see how sharp his mind is, even as his hearing is basically gone. And he's not complaining. He's just like, hey, I can't hear very well, but I'm still here with you. The setback of loss, I mean, he's virtually lost his hearing. He recently lost his wife. His son is with him. His grandchildren are right there. He was living in joy. Just like my mother. Basically, she's wheelchair bound. She's still fabulous. She's still joyful. She doesn't have as much energy as she used to have. The setbacks are real, and she is engaging her joy. What about you? What about me? What do we do in these moments when there's something that seems tough? Man, it's so hard, whatever is standing right in front of us. What do we do? What do you do? Do you wallow in it? Do you hide behind it? Or do you make a choice as to how to live in the moment with whatever is before you? And guess what? In every moment, you get to choose over and over and over again. How am I going to deal with this situation? What am I going to do in this scenario? So I want to share with you, if you'd like to join this conversation to talk about how you face setbacks, how you choose to recommit to yourself. This is a great time. If anybody wants to join the conversation, you can go online to harrietcole.com/inspiration and jump on. You can turn your camera on if you want, or keep your camera off and talk to me. But I'd love to see your face. I'm sure others would too. If you'd like to join this conversation and just share what your experiences may be, I think it could be of help to others. I want to share the quote with you that I found because I was looking for this. Today's inspiration came to me in my dream last night, and I was looking for someone to talk about recommitment, and here it is. It says, so recommit. Recommit as many times as you need to your well-being, your dreams, your spiritual health, your workouts, or your promises. Recommit to your self-belief. Failure is an illusion, And the idea that you can't start over will do nothing but keep you in a space of sadness. You can start over at any time, at any minute. And this one feels perfect. This is from Kara Awili Leba. I don't know who Kara is, but I love this quote. So I'm going to read it to you again because it's long. I like all of the little pieces of it, and I wanted to share them with you. And we can look at it. So recommit. Simple action. Recommit. Recommit as many times as you need to your well-being. That's your body, your brain, your heart, your whole self, to your dreams. This is Dreamleapers. Are you engaging your dreams? Do you even give them any credence? Do you allow them to build and grow? Do you pay attention to your dreams? Please do. Your spiritual health. However you have faith, I'm going to believe that tune in to Dreamleapers anyway, do so because they have faith. However you practice your faith, make sure you're tapping into that wellspring, that you recommit to your spiritual health. And whatever it is that you do to fortify your soul, that you do it. To your workouts. You can't just take care of the mind without fortifying the body. And a lot of times people choose one or the other. Or your promises. What have you told people you're going to do? What have you promised yourself that you're going to do? And if you haven't done those things, you can do them now. It is not too late. Kara says, recommit to your self-belief, to your belief in you, to your faith in you. And she says, failure is an illusion. And the idea that you can't start over will do nothing but keep you in a space of sadness. It'll keep you stuck. And probably you have felt this. I know I have. I've had a million times of being stuck, and I had to pull myself out of that state of being stuck. She says you can start over at any time, at any minute. And this one right now feels perfect. So I hope it does for you. As I shared with you, you can join this conversation if you like by going to harrietcole.com/inspiration. And right now, my friend Marie Claire is here, and we're going to bring her on to talk with us. Hi there.
Morning, Harriet. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Welcome. So this is an interesting topic, this recommitting to what we believe in, and especially at this time of year. I think a lot of people are assessing, well, how well did I do? And
Yes.
almost always we beat ourselves up and say, well, I didn't do as well as I should have. What does this notion of recommitment feel like to you?
Well, at this time, especially because Thanksgiving was just last week, I'm incredibly thankful for the people in my life and for the fact that I never gave up on my dream. I think that
Mm.
is extremely important that people realize that anything is possible. The possibilities are endless out there for every single one of us, as long as we don't give up and as long as we are able to do the work every day and keep moving forward. Sometimes moving forward can mean an inch forward, but you just keep moving forward no matter what happens. And you will find that your dreams can happen and they will happen every day. Of course, there'll always be setbacks, but setbacks lead to success. Success can't happen without failure. We have to fall down, pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving. And we learned from them. So I feel that you just have to just keep moving forward.
So I'm curious, when you have found yourself in a low place, because we all have, I mean, it's life, it happens.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes a low place can feel so low that you don't see the light. Right
Right.
now, I mean, there's beautiful light coming out of that window right where you are. It's a beautiful day, right? We are living in a beautiful day and having a great experience. I'm so glad you're here sharing this with me and with everybody who's tuned in. What about those days when it really does feel like a setback? When it just feels like, did I make the right decision? Will it ever get easier? even though I'm sure there are many times when it has, but in those moments when you feel that way, when you feel that kind of low point, if you can tap into it, like, what's the first thing that you do when you feel that?
Oh my God, my parents were right. Well, not even my parents, but my mother's side of the family was right. I should never pursued the arts, pursued singing, opera, jazz, acting. I should have just finished my degree, got a job to receive a pension, my social security. But then what would I be without my singing? It's like I'd be half a person. I'd be a shell. So yes, I do tremendous setbacks. But then, what is the alternative? I would be less than who I am right now without this, without the arts, without pursuing my God-given talents that I was born with and seeing where that can take me. Because Harriet, no matter how many setbacks I have, every day that I continue to live my truth and speak my truth and live with values, treat people well with kindness, and keep moving forward, the universe, God, Buddha just shows me that I've made the right decision, no matter the setbacks.
I'm glad that you've spent a lot of time thinking about this, which is why you have
Yes.
their perspective. And as you mentioned, you work in the arts, in the performing arts, in and you have a variety of touch points. And I think that's important for folks to hear. As we pursue our dreams, sometimes it's broad. Sometimes it needs to be broad in order for you to survive and thrive.
Yes.
But it really has to be what your dream is. So I remember when from a very young age, I knew I wanted to be a writer. I was interested in writing and fashion, and I've built a career based on presentation and writing. So it has occurred in interesting ways over the years. But I remember telling my father I wanted to be a writer, and I was super strong about this. And my father was a judge, and he was an appellate judge. He actually was the
Mm.
first a Black person named to the Maryland Court of Appeals, which is the Supreme Court of the state. So this is a
Wow.
very high honor. We are so proud. And when I told him, at the point where I'm in college and I'm very clear, he says, well, the best kind of writing is the law. So, I'm going to pay for you to take the LSATs and you should become a lawyer. And then you can become it's eventually an appellate judge. And I was like, Daddy, that's not the kind of writing I want to do. And I mean, he was very well-intentioned. For sure, that was, a very honorable thing to want to do, and also potentially safer than you want to be a writer. How are you going to pay your bills,
Mhm.
But I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I know it was his good intention, but it wasn't what my heart said. And, as you are describing, I'm sure your parents are like, are you sure you want to go
Yes.
in this creative field? Girl, how are you going to make enough money? How are you going to take care of yourself? And also, Marie Claire, I remember recently I interviewed Felicia Rashad, and she and I are on a board together for this wonderful organization called Prasad. And Prasad helps people who have no food, who have no medical care, who are in extreme forms of need. But also, so one of the programs that we have in India is an arts program, a robust arts program. And at different points, there have been those who said, well, we should just shut down the arts program because people need food. People
Yes.
need to go to the doctors. They do not need an art class. And I talked to her about that, and she said, that is wrong. She said, if you look at the cultures of the world, you will see that the way that people learn about other cultures is through their art. You don't even have to know their language. Think of the hieroglyphics of Egypt
Ancient Egypt. Yes.
and every culture. You learn about them through the arts. I thought that was so brilliant and simple, but also helping us know, like, you have to do what your heart tells you to do, or you won't have,
Absolutely.
right? Even
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to, it leads me to a story. I was recently, a friend of mine turned me on to an opportunity to audition for a new play by an African American playwright, Frank Dunham Jr., that's going to have a short run at Theater Row on Times Square the first 2 weeks of February. And she said, Marika, would you be interested in auditioning for this? So I read the breakdown. I said, yeah. So the breakdown said, just send in a monologue. So I knew I had a couple monologues on tape. So I sent it over. And he wrote back and he said, Marika, you're obviously very talented, but I think you're too pretty for the role of Miss Barnes. So, but I wrote him back, Harriet, and I said, Mr. Dunham, with all due respect, this is not fair. You asked for a monologue. You didn't say what kind of monologue. You didn't specify. I sent exactly what you asked. And if you really want to turn me down for this part, you should let me read a scene in your play so you can
Mhm.
really see if I can do this, because I know I can do this part. Harriet, he called me. He said, after that email, I had to call you back.
All right. So this is another, I love this. It's a perfect example of what we're talking about here. When
Yes,
you stand up for yourself, when you
yes, yes,
recommit to your inner greatness, and you don't have to wilt because somebody pushed you back.
right.
Instead, wait a minute. Let me step into my confidence and see what happens. And if
Yes,
you do that, you create space for others to see your greatness.
yes. And after four callbacks, I have the part. So you can see me.
Congratulations.
So you can see me off Broadway on 42nd Street the first 2 weeks of February as Miss Barnes in Cherry House.
I love it. And Fallon, my producer, just put up on the screen. I interviewed Marie Claire a while ago and on Dreamleapers, and you can watch her broadcast if you go to my website, harrycole.com/broadcast/Marie Claire Giraud. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me always, Harry. Thank you for your support, and I'm thankful for you in my life. Thank you, and for what you do.
Same here. Thank you so much. Hey
Okay.
guys, if you'd like to join this conversation, you can go to harrietcole.com/inspiration and come on just like Marie Claire did. Why it's important for us to contemplate these things. And I want to recommend that when you leave this broadcast today, that you find a friend to talk to about what it means to not give up in this moment, what it means to recommit to yourself. Find your people, find your tribe, find folks who will support you. Because when you find the support that you need, you can feel strong. When and it's not yes people that you're looking for, it's supportive people and opportunities and situations that help you to flex your muscles of strength and to engage your own power, because you don't want to be paralyzed by fear. You don't want to lose your confidence because things haven't been going your way. Marie Claire's talking about being a performer. You get more rejections than acceptances when you are a performer. Well, I have friends right now, because of challenges with the economy, who've been out of work for a long time. I talked to a woman just the other day who was telling me, she's great at what she does, and she hasn't found a fit since the last position that she had. And it's hard on her spirit, it's hard on her wallet. And she just said, I'm putting it out there. This is what's happening for me. And I'm putting it out there that I will find what I need for my life. I have another friend who's been almost a year out of work, looking, hoping, going to his union to see can they support. And so far, no support. And what he says he relies on is his faith. And faith is super important, especially in challenging times. Let's go back to that quote. What it says in our quote, and let's just go through it again. So recommit as many times as you need to your well-being, your dreams, your spiritual health, your workouts, or your promises. Recommit to your self-belief. what does that self-belief turn into when you're down, when things aren't going your way, when you can't find a job, when you don't have the resources you need, when your relationships are crumbling, when things are not going well? Ever more important to recommit to your self-belief during those times. Now, Carr says failure is an illusion, and the idea that you can't start over will do nothing but keep you in a space of sadness. Whether you believe failure is an illusion or not, it is true that if you get stuck in it, you can't go anywhere. The darkness will take you down. But the reality is you can start over at any time, at any minute. You woke up today. Thank God we all woke up today. Right now, Carr says this moment feels perfect. But it has to be your choice. And why I'm saying this with such urgency is because I know when you are stuck, when you feel down, you may not even be hearing what I'm saying. You may not notice the bright light that's right in front of you. You may not notice the opportunity that is before you because you're weighed down by doubt and negativity and fear and pain and lack of self-confidence and sometimes lack of faith. When you get into a position like that, it is hard to see. Sometimes it's even hard to feel. A lot of times people anesthetize themselves when they're feeling disconnected from spirit, from self, from empowerment. And I want to challenge you not to do that. Take care of yourself. You are worth it. We need each one of us in this world striving to be as good as we can be, striving to be strong, striving to be whole, striving to be part of community, and connecting with people who are supportive and loving and honest with us. I don't want yes people. I want honest people who tell me the truth in ways that I can receive it. And I'm going to repeat that because this is super important. A lot of people will tell you the truth. How do you best receive the truth? So for some people, they don't want it sugar-coated. They just want it straight, no chaser. Let me tell you, this is what I see. Are you listening? Me? I like a little sugar. I like it a little bit. I like a hug and the truth. I don't want what feels like a slap. People want different things. They receive information differently. You know yourself. How do you best receive information? Surround yourself with people who share the truth in ways that you can best receive it. And then pay attention. And pay attention to yourself. And no matter what is going on, believe in your value. That notion of self-belief, recommitting to your self-belief, you know, I think of myself, and I've talked to my producer about this very recently. Great things are happening. I'm just receiving an honor this week from The Root, this wonderful cultural website that has something called the Root 100. And I'm like, why'd they choose me? And it's amazing. I posted about it, and hundreds of people wrote in to say, oh, so well deserved. This is great. Long time coming, blah, blah, blah. Really sweet. The only reason I'm mentioning it now is that when it first was shared with me, my initial question was why? We don't think of ourselves as these pillars of greatness, which is good, I think, because you want to be humble. But also, you need to accept and value who you are, what you stand for, and what you've done with your life, and what you're doing with your life. And be willing to accept the compliment of what that greatness is. And it's hard for people to do. Sometimes it's hard to believe it. You know, do I deserve love? Do I deserve accolades? Do I deserve that full embrace? And the answer is yes. You do, I do, we all do. But that notion of recommitting to self love, recommitting to self empowerment, please do it. Do it every day. Be willing to accept the flowers, the gratitude, the love, the acknowledgement that comes your way. Don't deflect it. Receive it. Consider it a blessing. It will help you to recommit to your greatness. And all of us can be in moments where we question it. Who, me? Why me? Why not you? Recommit to what you value. Recommit to how you want to live your life. Welcome goodness in. Welcome God's grace in. Walk with that. And your life can be sweet, even when it's challenging. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope that as you move forth with your day, you will not give up. You will recommit to yourself now. You are worth it. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.